Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bleav in San Diego Baseball. My name is Alex Miniak, your host of this trusty podcast, alongside the three-time All-Star. His name is Heath Bell. Heath, a lot going on in Friarland, I guess, over the last few days, couple weeks. Trade deadline. We talked to Annie last podcast about all our new faces, and now the Padres coming back home to face the Boston Red Sox this weekend in a crucial series at Petco Park. You know, I was doing some notes here. Red Sox coming into this week with almost identical records as the Padres, both 3 games out of first place. Though, you know, they traded Rafi Devers in June. They got Dustin May from the Dodgers at the deadline. There's questions if they're really in or they're out. But the team was 17-7 in July, and frankly, been playing pretty well. So it's kind of perplexing what we can expect.
I think everybody's questioning the Red Sox ownership or GM front office, if they're in or out, they support the team or not. I think the guys definitely want to win. I also think Rafi Devers was kind of a money dump, as in he's not really a team player. And maybe they thought he was, and his true colors came out or whatnot. So they were just like, we got a bunch of young talent. Why not just get rid of them? And I think the young talent just said, we're going to go against the odds. Everybody's counting us out. Everybody's counting us like, well, you can't do it without Rafi. We're going to show you. And they had a great month. So I expect them to, keep playing hard and keep winning. So for the Padres, it's a chance to play a playoff possible team. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I mean, they are a much better home team than a road team. We got that in our favor for sure. But again, hot teams are hot.
They're young.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. You and I both have Fenway experiences. You got to pitch at Fenway Park. Talk about pitching in one of the crown jewels of Major League Baseball. One of those century-old icons, the Green Monster, the pesky pole, all of that. What is it like to be on the mound at Fenway Park?
It's just, it's sort of for real. There's Wrigley, there's Fenway, and then Old Yankee Stadium is kind of the iconic stadiums to be a part of, to go out there and actually play a game in the clubhouse, how it's so small. And you could go, man, so-and-so, Babe Ruth could have had my locker or whatnot, or, whatever player that your dad grew up with. So I have a cool story. It's when I was with the Mets, though. So we were flying in. We had Pedro Martinez on the team. He just signed with the Mets. I think it was 2006. And everybody's talking about him coming in. So we flew in on Sunday, and Sunday night baseball was against the Phillies and the Red Sox. Well, it rained that night. So we had an off day on Monday. They had an off day too. So they decided to play a game on Monday. And I had a friend come in town, and we hung out, and we were like, dude, let's go to the game. So I talked to the concierge, and he actually was at the game Sunday, and his tickets got rained out, but he has to work on Monday. He's like, if you give me tickets for Tuesday, I'll give you my tickets for Monday, my rain out tickets. So I went down to Fenway as just a fan, growing up, loving watching Roger Clemens and them. So got a Fenway shirt at Pesky Pole. I did not know where I was sitting. Pesky Pole was like lit to my right. And I was, having a beer and a hot dog, having a great time. The Red Sox won. I was maybe scouting them out a little bit or whatnot, but nobody knew who I was. It was fun. It's my 3rd year in the big leagues. And it was really exciting. The atmosphere was great. And then the great part was on Tuesday, I'm actually on the field pitching. So, and I did really well. I struck out 5, struck out Manny and Ortiz, did really well. The Red Sox beat us. That was when they won 18 straight. And I think we were like 12, 13, 14. So we lost all of them. But that road trip, I was the only pitcher not to give up any runs. And they only pitched me once. But it was exciting. And my biggest memory from that, or anytime Fenway, is sitting next to right field foul pole, Pesky's pole, just sitting there, leaning on it. And then the next day, actually being on the mound and pitching.
Did you sign your name on the pesky pole?
No, I didn't sign my name there because there's too many people around. But I am on the Green Monster and all that, so it's good times. I've had great memories in Boston with family and friends over the years, even with the Padres and other teams. So it's just it's one of those things. It's iconic. It's great memories, but that's probably my best memory of Fenway, of sitting in the stands, watching a game, and then pitching, the next day. Probably the only person could say to do that is maybe a Savannah Banana or something like that. One of those pitchers would sit in the stands and then go out and pitch a couple innings later.
What a neat perspective. Two completely different ones in the span of 48 hours.
Yeah.
What struck you from a fan's perspective sitting there versus what your perspective was from being on the hill? Like, what were the two takeaways?
Well, the takeaway from being a fan is you could enjoy it. You could, sing. You could have the atmosphere. Kind of root for Boston a little bit, the hometown team. Um, and just, be a fan, just be excited, and kind of take it all in and go underneath and the smell and everything. And then actually playing, you're kind of in business, the fans are on you. They're, trying to rally you. They're trying to get in your head so you don't pitch well, and then go out there and just dominate and just kind of like, yeah, thank you, buddies, and just do really well. So it's just kind of, one is like going to work and the other one was enjoying work.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's pretty awesome. I love the city of Boston. I lived in New England for 14 years before moving to San Diego. That's where I did my adult growing up, so to speak. I got out of college. I got a job up in New Hampshire, Portsmouth, New Hampshire, right on the coast. Eventually moved to Manchester, New Hampshire. I ended up switching careers a couple of times. I went from radio to working at an ad agency to finally working in minor league baseball for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. I worked for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats from 2008 until my time here at Petco Park. And during that time with the Fisher Cats, I was able to connect with a guy by the name of Carl Beane. Carl was the voice of Fenway Park during my tenure in New England, and Carl was a great guy. When there were days off from Fenway, Carl would drive around to minor league parks throughout New England, come up to the booth, have a conversation with you. In fact, the first time I met him during the 2008 season, he walks into the room and he just says, "Hey, can I sit here?" No credential, nothing but hardware on his fingers, as in a World Series ring, or in fact, two of them by that point, '04 and '07. And this guy sits down and he just starts talking to me. He starts asking me questions, and then I figure out who he is, and we strike up a rapport, and I see him. We talk. We keep in contact, and I always wanted to go up and see him in that booth, and just working baseball schedules. It's tough to, especially for two different teams. It's tough to connect and to be able to do that. Sadly, he passed away suddenly during the 2012 season, and we didn't get to have that moment in his booth, and that was tough. And it really shook the organization. The night after he passed, the Red Sox actually didn't have a PA announcer. The mic was silent for an entire Major League Baseball game. The chair was empty, completely empty. And Larry Lucchino, who used to be president of the Padres before moving on to become president of the Red Sox, says, "Hey, we're going to find the next voice for Fenway Park." And of course, all my friends are like, you should really, get in on that. You would be great. And I'm like, that's awesome. But, Carl was my friend. I got to be able to do the guy justice. And I don't know if it's too soon or what, but nonetheless, the Red Sox needed people to fill in the rest of the season. And so the Red Sox brought in media types. They brought in fans. They brought in other minor league baseball announcers. And I start emailing the front office saying, "Hey, I'm not that far away. I can help. I'm 45 minutes door to door from my house to Fenway Park. I can easily be there for a game." And I wasn't getting anything. And after one of our games, one of our Fisher Cats games. Then we had a local watering hole. Used to serve food till 12:30 in the morning. Great spot. I was there a lot, especially post game. It's tough to find a good meal post game. So I go in and I have a couple Sam Adams and I get a little liquid courage in me. And I write to Larry Lucchino himself, and I write, I'm an hour away. I have the chops. I deserve a shot. Bam. 9:30 the next morning, I get an email from the Red Sox, and they're following up with a call, and they want to schedule me to fill in at Fenway Park. And this is my opportunity, right? To show them what I've got. I get a chance to honor Carl. I get to see someplace I've never seen. I get to call a game at one of the jewels of Major League Baseball, one of the cathedrals, the two cathedrals. I've actually done Wrigley too. That's a different story for a different time. But to do it at Fenway, which is the stadium all of New England knows, reveres, loves, has been to, has stories from, that was really the opportunity. So, my company at the time, the marketing agency, really helped me out. They bought a section of tickets for all my friends and for all my coworkers. My friend made towels, rally towels that said, "We hear the next voice of Fenway Park." We handed out cards, tried to really rally support to say like, hey, this guy really wants it. This guy really wants to do it. We had a ton of press behind it. Even my dad flew up and he had a t-shirt that said, "I hear the next voice of Fenway Park." So I go into a game. It's September. Red Sox are out of it. This is the Bobby Valentine year, so things aren't really up to snuff in Red Sox Nation. I remember going in there. It was first of all, it was awesome just walking into a major league facility for the first time. I drove up and player parking was on the street behind Fenway Park, and I literally pulled up to the gate and I handed my keys to a guy, and he's like, "Mr. Miniak, I have this, no problem. We'll take care of you." And I was like, "Whoa, is this how it is every day?" It's not, but but for that moment, it was fantastic. I get escorted up to the booth. I sit there. I take it in. September, little chill in the air. We're playing the Blue Jays. The Fisher Cats were actually, and still are, a Blue Jays affiliate, so I know the roster. September call-ups, very familiar with the lineups. And then we have a rain delay, a deluge for like an hour and a half. The warning track was underwater. So I'm thinking, this is the shot that I have at Fenway Park, and it's going to be a rain out. Like, after all I've been through to get here and to offer my services and to do this on this big stage, it's going to get rained out. Well, the clouds parted. The thunderstorm rained itself out. We got to have the ball game. It's Fenway Park. Even when you're 13 and a half games out in September, it's Fenway Park. The echoes, sitting in a very small seat in the booth. Again, I had a binder. I couldn't even open the binder all the way. And you and I have talked about Fenway Park, how there's no leg room. It was built for people much smaller than me. I'm 6'2". I didn't even have shoulder room, let alone leg room, to be able to do this. And man, it just was a huge, huge memory. And I got a letter, a personal thank you from Larry Lucchino after that. I got a picture from that experience. And, later on with the Red Sox and the Padres connections, I'm doing the 2016 All-Star game at Petco Park, and our team president at the time, Mike D, comes to me at the end of the game and said, "Carl would be proud." And what a cool full circle moment that was, just to be able to make Carl proud, I think, and through my growth and through his encouragement, having the opportunity and then putting a cherry on top. As you know, baseball is a small circle. Sports in general is a small circle. You cross paths with people so many different times in so many different places. And it was just neat. It was just neat to have that moment. And it's something I will cherish for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's a great story. I think Carl definitely be very proud of you.
Oh, thank you, man. Well, I appreciate that. And here I am on my now 12-year run at Petco Park, just trying to make it my own home. Of course, the fans really helping that too, because I can't do it without them.
Maybe down the road, you'll have a mentor that follows you.
I think, over the weekend, I had a friend of mine. His name is Hernan Sanchez, and he is on his fourth Mexican League baseball team. He was in, let's see, he started in Monterrey. He's been out to Yucatan. He did Guadalajara. I forget where he is now. He would be ashamed of me for not knowing that, but I got to see him this weekend at Petco Park, and it was cool to connect. The dude's not even 30 yet, and he has got that much experience. He is so much farther ahead than I was at that time. So if there's a mentor or a mentee that I'm mentoring, it's Hernan, and it was great to see him this weekend.
That's awesome. Yeah, we have two interesting Fenway stories, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, and we covered 3 different bases: in the stands, on the mound, and upstairs in the booth.
Yep. So did you really quick, did you sign Fenway or sign anything up there?
I did not. I was afraid I was going to get in trouble. I was so happy to be there and so in awe of everything that I didn't want to leave that seat. Like, they're like, during the rain delay, you can go get something to eat if you're. I'm like, no, I can't. I don't want to screw anything up. If something happens and we come back and we start early, and I can't.
That's all.
Well, coming back on Bleav in San Diego baseball, we've got a new segment called Home Run Eats. And because Boston is coming to town, I had to do one of my favorite New England staples, and that is a roast beef sandwich, like a legitimate roast beef sandwich. And I'm going to try one out. I've got one right here, and we're going to try it out coming back next on Bleav in San Diego baseball. Hello and welcome back to Bleav in San Diego Baseball, the podcast. My name is Alex Miniak, alongside my co-host, the 3-time All-Star. His name is Mr. Heath Bell. I was talking about living in New England for 14 years, and once in a while, I get a growl in my tummy for some New England cuisine. And everybody thinks lobster roll or fried clams, and don't get me wrong, I love those kind of things. But one of the things that stands out to me that I truly miss is a roast beef sandwich. Heath, I know this segment is going to be brutal for you because I did not send you one. Next time, I'm going to call Goldbelly, and I'm going to have them ship you one so we can eat them at the same time. How's that?
That'd be good, but I'll take a lobster roll. I mean, a roast beef sandwich looks really good, but I like lobster rolls better.
All right. I'm not complaining. Lobster roll is great. All right. So if anyone knows the roast beef sandwich in New England, I've got one right here. It's piled high, as you can see, with medium rare roast beef. It's this one in particular is just stacked. And there's usually a slice of cheese, maybe some mayo, and we've got a little, hey now, barbecue sauce on the side.
Hey, look at that.
Go. Whoa, watch out. Next level. Now, this sandwich comes from Big Jim's in Pacific Beach on Cass Street. And I am so glad that places like Big Jim's and Boston Pete's over in North Park, close to where I live, have brought these New England cuisines to me because I miss them so much. And you know what? They are legit. And it is really hard sometimes to find those home staples that you're missing when you're living on the other side of the country, on a different coast. These guys do it right. So here, for the first time in Bleav in San Diego baseball, I'm going to have a taste of this delicious looking roast beef sandwich again. Medium rare. I swapped out the cheese though. Normally this comes with a white American. I'm a provolone guy. In fact, when I got there, Big Jim was there, and I said, I want this sandwich, but I want it with provolone. And I think I might have insulted him. Actually, how dare you screw up my masterpiece? But here it is. This is exactly how I do it back in New England with the sauce and the cheese and everything. I'm going to bring it. It's going to be messy.
I think Big Jim will be happy that it's all messy right there and you're enjoying it on there. So When I come out to San Diego in a couple weeks, I'm gonna have to go to Big Jim's and grab one of those. He didn't send me one.
I didn't send you one, and I'm gonna do a major faux pas.
Going to Big Jim's to get one in a couple weeks.
I'll take you. While I'm chewing and everything, legit. I mean, the meat. First off, shaving steak is an art form. Shaving beef is an art form. You know that Seinfeld where Kramer has the meat slicer?
Oh yeah.
Slices so thin you can barely see them. That's how I like my meat. And this sandwich does the trick. I walked in there. It's a little stall on Cass Street. You walk in there, the first thing you see is the slicer. So when the man puts a slicer at the front door, you know the place is going to be legit. And you know the slicer is a work of art right there. And what he's doing with that thing. So I can tell you, Big Jim, by the way, this is not an endorsement. I literally went in there and just ordered a sandwich and walked out. Good stuff.
Well, so let me tell you. So have you had one there before?
No, this is the first time.
Okay, so next time you go, or definitely, I'm going to eat one there. So, and I know this is a couple hours old, so rate it, like if somebody was going to wait and bring it home, or is it really good right away? Is it a little bit better if you wait? Because sometimes some meals, kind of the meat kind of soaks into the bread, and all of a sudden it's just a little bit better when you just wait a little bit.
Well, the bun is not soggy. They use butter and beef tallow, so that gives it a nice little crust.
Oh, I'm done. I'm already going to Big Jim's.
Yeah. So you don't
I'm not
have...
a big bread guy, but as soon as you do that with butter and toast, I'm good.
Yeah, and it's an onion roll. No, there's no sogginess. One of the things I hate about a sandwich is soggy bread. This is not soggy.
The funny part is my mom always made soggy sandwiches. I love them. And my wife always thinks I'm weird, but I love onion bread. And if it's a little bit toasted and they use the right amount of butter, then I like the rolls, like what I'm seeing right now. So. Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good. Here, I'm going to flash this sauce again for you to see. For the people that are watching the video podcast of this, I'm totally making them hungry right now, and I'm making you hungry, and you're going to hate me, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate texts from you this week because I did not send you one.
I'm going to look for a roast beef sandwich out here probably the next day or two.
You got to look for a legitimate New England roast beef sandwich. So this was perfect for Red Sox week. It is a legitimate, on a scale of 1 to 10 being a real roast beef sandwich, one that I know and love from back east. It's a 10, without a doubt. Great sandwich.
Gotcha. Well, like I said, in a couple weeks, I'll be out in San Diego. I'm going to have to grab one.
Call me, because I got to go back. I got to get, he's got a steak bomb, and I got to get that. So we'll do that.
Right. I'll give you a buzz.
All right, sounds good. Hey, for the rest of you guys that we made hungry, make sure you go down to see Big Jim, but also go to Petco Park this weekend. Boston in town. It's going to be a heck of a series. Again, two teams with a similar record. Boston is kind of playing the underdog. They're going to have some fight in them. Heath, is there anything we should be wary of going into this series?
No, just be loud and obnoxious and be crazy. I mean, like San Diego's can be. I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And I wish I was going to be at that series, but I'll be at the following homestand. So all I got to say is go Padres.
Go Padres. Let's do this thing. Hey, you heard the man. For the 3-time All-Star, Heath Bell, my name is Alex Miniak, and we will catch you next week to find out all the results on Bleav in San Diego baseball.